And yes, if you hear that sound, it's court in session with me, El, and Avenger only one. That's Keelan Phillips. Keelan, the baby. All right, let's start on Sunday.
Yeah.
Let me say that all basketball started on Sunday. So on Sunday, we have four very interesting games. Warriors All-Stars played the Tridents.
Yeah.
And All-Stars got ahead, blew that game. That's 85-59.
Yeah.
And then Cavaliers played Pinelands, and that was also a blow.
Yeah.
88-61. And then there was some anxious moment for the Lakers, but they prevailed based on the back of Keith Burkett shooting really decent from the field, and they were able to get past Heat 85-77. But the big game that everyone came to see, left AgroFest, made sure that they get there early, and was outside waiting to pay to come in, was the unbeaten. That is Clapham Bulls and Sydney United Celtics. The game was close until the third quarter, I think. But I think
a little bit in the fourth too. The beginning of the fourth, I think Bulls was down 6 or 7, but then the fourth quarter,
yeah. I think a couple of things happened on Sunday that showed me that we still need to do a lot of work based on our players, right? In the game against the Lakers, one player was, had this big commotion with somebody in the stands. I don't ever get that. Because I play this game, I played it as a national player. When you locked in, you don't hear nobody besides your coach and your player and the rest of the players that play with you. When the game out of reach and a fella says something to you at the side, then, but in the middle of a game that things close, right? You don't all this banter with people in stands. None of them are playing. So I don't get that. That's one. The other thing too, I think Bulls lost the plot in the third quarter. Now, Bulls went to a zone, and the zone, the Celtics wasn't prepared for that zone. And they took a while before they catch themselves, but then Bulls pulled the zone. Zones don't get you back in front teams. I understand that. Pressing the ball and playing aggressively gets you to get you in front of the game. But that zone had them a little worried a little bit, and it just got away. It got away a little bit when they went back to man-to-man. Two things I want to say, and I don't want to. This is just my opinion, and I don't want anybody to feel that I am trying to critique the games or call out anybody on anything. But two things in that game. One was, I don't think Marsh shot 16 shots. He must have had 12 from offensive rebounds they get and push back up. Right? I thought that Marsh should touch that ball every single time down court. It should be inside, out. And I think that was the plan. But I also think that, the play of the guards, to me, was not as they were not as good as they were last year. I think last year was a little bit better. They were looking for players, looking for their shots, knowing way to take over games and stuff. But I think the guard play coming down the stretch, it became personal. Like, how you do something, then you come and do something. You know what I mean? Like, instead of sticking to the game plan and working it to the end. But I tell my half hours the Celtics, they stuck to their game plan. They were on the numbers game. They shot better from three for a little while. I think they shot 30-something%. So they ended up winning the game. I did expect it was this far apart. 19 points. Now, put Bulls under some pressure because in the second, if Celtics don't lose another game until they meet Bulls again, it means that Bulls don't lose a game either. It means that Bulls will have to beat the Celtics by 20. I
Yeah,
don't think none of the two teams are 20 points better than the other team.
yeah.
That game was, to me, I think that game got lost within garments. I will say no more about that. But I think that was Bulls will learn from that mistake, and I think that they will be better next toss. Not to say they will beat Celtics. I'm saying they will be better next time. And if what I hear in the pipeline is going to be true, the next time they meet, they will be a little bigger. And I think that then Celtics can have some problems with the matchups then. I can let you go. I don't want you to, feel left out. You go, you go.
Yeah, kudos to Celtics. They played well. They out rebounded us. They didn't get a lot of steals that they usually get, but like, as I said, offensively and defensively, they they played well. That's all I can really say. They played well. We didn't play as defensively. We weren't nearly as good as we can be or should have been. Um, in terms of the zone, I went to the zone. Yes, I then went away for it for possession or two to try and kind of get them so they don't necessarily get comfortable with it. The plan was to, all right, we start the zone, go to man for like two or so plays, then back to the zone. So they don't, get a thing. It didn't quite work. I think we then stuck to the man a little bit longer that was kind of intended. But it is what it is. I not well, I hope that we ain't losing that nobody ain't losing any sleep
Nah,
over a
not
regular
the
season
first, not
game.
the first round game.
Not a first round game, right?
Unless
All it
only if you're playing one round.
Yeah, like the only thing that this does now is maybe put us in the Station Hill bracket of stuff. Whereas even in the knockout, which we can talk about shortly, we can be on that side of the bracket. In the playoffs, we can mostly have to play Station Hill. If we don't beat then Celtics by 20. So that's all that really does. At the end of the day, one of Bulls or Celtics would have had to play Station Hill. So it's not the end of the world. Obviously, you want to win every game, but some losses can be good. It can help you refocus. It helps you kind of point out things that maybe weren't really shown
Yeah, when you winning,
before.
correct.
Yeah, when you winning games, yeah. So
Yeah,
like
winning cures all things.
exactly. So some losses can be good, but once again, kudos over to Celtics for sure.
Right. One other thing, I missed one of your players. Andrew didn't play.
Yeah, Andrew didn't play. Yeah, Andrew
Yeah, and he will make a difference because he is, he's hung the guards.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, he's hung the guards. So I think he's saying, and I expect that. I see Raheem is getting a little bit better. Because
mm,
I see his knees heavily bandaged, but I noticed
yeah,
that he was not as gimpy as he was the last game. So
yeah,
as the season goes on, I think he will get a little stronger. So
yeah.
I don't think anybody starting to like prone Celtics or anything.
Yeah.
Everybody, in basketball gonna play, and those series, the title comes down to a series. It's only knockout. Well, it comes out of one game, but to
And even that, based on the format, isn't a one game; it's not two games, or either way.
right.
So
So
yeah,
it will be interesting. I look forward to see Bulls and Celtics play again. Actually, I look
yeah.
forward to see the top three play again. Bulls and Celtics. I want to see Cavaliers play both of them. I think Cavaliers was missing Brandon Rupp. I think he would make
So,
a difference. Um,
so he didn't play in the last game either.
right.
Well, the last game against Bulls. Yeah,
Right.
but
And Saeed. They you cannot call out Cavaliers over anything. I've learned that the hard way. You can't count them out. They will play how they play. You either beat them or they run you over. So they don't, to me, they don't give up on games. Right? I mean, you just got beat Cavaliers. And you got to take your hat off to Craig Bell and his team. They just play how they just play, and you gotta do what you gotta do.
Yeah.
But that is the first round. It was very interesting. End up with who leading. Celtics was the leader in the standings. Then it was Bulls, the Cavaliers, Lakers. All right, and then Warriors. I think Warriors, Heat, Pinelands, and then the Schoolboys.
Yeah.
Pinelands now looking a little shaky. However, they've won 2 games. The last 3, from 5 to 7, it has the same record, 2-5.
Yeah.
So it's just a matter of who beat who and that sort of stuff. Pilots need to get themselves out there. If not, they will be relegated.
Correct.
But it's unfortunate that they find themselves in this situation. But we'll see what happens. There's still another round to play. But in between there's the President's Cup. And it has a new format. And also it has it will be played starting Tuesday, right?
Yeah.
Right. So the matchups for Tuesday would be you got the matchups for Tuesday?
Yeah, I believe based on the Sunday, it is Bulls are playing Pinelands, which is the 2-7. And I believe, I could be wrong, Cavs will be playing Heat. I think those are the games on Tuesday.
Oh, okay.
And then obviously on Thursday it'll be the next match. I'm not sure of the times, but obviously Celtics will be playing Traders.
And
And
Lakers will got Warriors.
Warrants, correct.
I remember that Lakers and Warriors was a 2-point win for Lakers in the last game.
Correct. And the format is a little different from previous years. Concept is still kind of the same, but it has kind of switched. Before it was the quarters was not a best of 2, but a 2-game aggregate score.
Aggregate score, yeah.
Yeah, the semis was also that way, and then the finals was a 1 game. But it switched around now where the quarters is just a 1 game. The semis is the same aggregate score, and the final is actually a 2-game aggregate score as well. So always incentive to play through, especially from the semis, always incentive to play throughout the game. And a little interesting because now you could potentially see Bulls and Cavs in 2 games in the semis, and then either Bulls and Celtics as another 2-game series as based on what we know just said, or even Cavs and Celtics as a 2-game series. So we should have at least 4 games that should be really good.
Yes.
Coming out of the semis and the finals. So the format does add an extra game in terms of top 9 teams into the format. So yeah.
So I kind of I understand the switch for the BABA because truly the top teams are really far
apart, from the rest,
from the bottom teams, from the other teams, shall I say? And so instead of having 2 games that 2 teams a team get beat by 50 twice, at least they will only get beat by 50 once.
50 once,
right? So it should be interesting. I am looking forward to that tournament. But up next, the NBA segment will be joined by none other than the Beijing scout Alan Pinder. See you then. By the Beijing scout in his indie shirt. As you can see, this is rep your favorite team shirt. This for this episode. Keelan Phillips is bareback, but we don't mind.
That's crazy. There's a Hall of
He can still
Famer.
rap somebody.
There's a Hall of Famer. That's
Okay,
crazy.
all right. Yeah, all right, okay. He's a Hall of Famer. So we'll say that he still have one close day. Okay. Right. So with me is the Bear Scout. He joined us. All right, Alan, let me get to it. What about that? Let's talk about the All-Star format and all that was around the All-Star format.
Yeah, they just need to go out of East West. That wasn't very well. People had issues because some of the young guys were there, but the young guys are there because the older guys not really taking it seriously. They would try to do it to raise the competitive level. It was raised lately, but I didn't really enjoy it. I think a lot of people probably do not enjoy it because they still prefer the original format. Just want the guys to use the original format and play hard, but that seems to be too much to be asking for. And I think part of it is that, like, if one of the teams gets eliminated early, you only get to see one of your all-stars play for a very short period of time. You may see the young guys play more than you want. I think we'll just prefer the original format. Everyone just play the full game, and you see guys go against all-stars for the entire time. I think that's what people really want to see. I'm not sure people really want to see what they got. I'm pretty sure they're going to switch it back to the original format next year because, I don't think this accomplished. This may have been a little bit worse, believe it or not, compared to last year. I don't know what Keelan thought.
Oh, well, I didn't know. I didn't know it could get worse, but what about you, Keelan? What do you think?
I got a lot of thoughts about the All-Star game format. The format itself, as Alan said, I understood it, but I didn't like it. I get what Adam Silver was trying to do in terms of trying to find a way for them to play harder. Because I think we all agree that if the players just play harder, like none of this extra stuff, like trying to do a tournament or whatever, would have been added. Like if the players were playing hard, there'd be no need to change East West anything at all, right? So the format was brought in to try to raise the competition level. As I said, it was more competitive, especially that Rising Stars versus the OGs game. That was fairly competitive, but I would think you would want the All Stars to be competing against each other for the most part.
It's on the stage.
Yeah, like it's their
That's
stage,
supposed to be playing, right?
Yeah, the Rising Star stage was on Friday. Them being there doesn't make me all of a sudden hey like kind of like how Dream On was, but I still think that the All Stars should be competing against each other. The next thing is the what the hell was like the point total that you're going to either, right? 40 points. Teams just rack up 40 points in an NBA game in the first quarter, like
Or
that, like really quick. So like you could probably get that in 8 minutes with the level of defense that is typically played in an All-Star game. Like 8 minutes, like you can easily get that. Like imagine if you are a fan of Sengun and he played what 3 minutes. You saw him for like 3 minutes. He's the only person from his country that's an all-star. Imagine your entire country is watching you and they saw you for 3 minutes because of the format. As you said, Alan, they lost and that was the end of it for them, right? So I didn't like that as well.
It was less than 48 minutes overall. So what you're saying is did happen.
Yeah, like
It's less than 48 going this situation.
This is gonna tie into the next point. NBA did not do themselves any favor with the format. Not only with the format, the execution. Sorry, I'm not gonna lie. It's time for TNT to go. Like that is like okay. Somebody did it. Somebody did a breakdown. I don't know if y'all saw any videos. It was like out of the 3 hours, it was like 40 something minutes was basketball, and 2 hours and like 15 minutes was ads, commercials, performances, Kevin Hart, inside the NBA tribute, all of that. No, the performances by E40 and stuff, I don't mind that because that's typical of a performance at halftime. Like, that's always somebody performing at halftime. Well, I don't mind that. But like, you got the game was 11-1. I was on my way home from coaching a game, and I realized the score is 11-1. And I thought my app was stuck because it was 11-1 for like 15 minutes. And I was like, wait, like, what's going on? The score was 11-1. So the game started, and then they decided to stop the game to do this tribute to inside the NBA.
Yeah, too many breaks, man. Yeah.
Even the players were like, I saw SGA was like, let me get on with the game. Like, how do you actually expect players to play their best if they warm up and then have to spend 15 minutes cooling down to then ramp it back up again? Like, that does not make any sense from a competitive standpoint. And like, I'm sorry, I don't want to hear. I would hope that if I turn on basketball, I want to see basketball and not Kevin Hart. If I turn on a Kevin Hart special and I see golf playing for 2 hours, I'd be upset because I sign on for Kevin Hart. I don't want to see Kevin Hart for 2 hours. Yeah, it's too much everything else but basketball. It's too much nothing. It's too much everything but basketball.
It wasn't even a good Kevin Hart, you know?
Yeah, it was like, Shaq is tall. Oh my God. Watch me stand up next to a tall person. Oh my God.
Shaq is dressed like a pimp. I mean,
like, the players, the centers should go back shooting trees. Like, stop shooting trees. It was just bad all around. It was horrible. I'm sorry.
Yeah, well, it was so bad that I didn't even worry to watch it, to be honest.
You ain't missing nothing else. I tell you, you save yourself, to be honest.
Yeah, because first thing first, the All-Star, the players take the All-Star break as a break.
Yeah.
They don't take it as a break from basketball. And I don't think making it a tournament, even pelting money in it, I don't think will change the fact that people will not play hard because they see it as a break. So they see it as, if I got a niggling injury, I can have a break. If I so that I could, wrap it up for the second half of the season. So that is one thing. The other thing is I heard one of your favorite people, he remained nameless, saying that they are thinking about that he would advise them to play USA versus the world.
Okay. I think
but I don't know if the world will have so many all-stars.
Yeah, that's the problem.
That's the issue that they will have.
It's not able to feel a team. A proper team.
Yeah, like out to the 24 all-stars, 7 of them were international. Yeah, so there wouldn't be enough to field a team. Like, there are enough good international players that you can add that would make a international team, like that all-star level, like Sabonis, Murray, RJ Barrett. Like, there are enough of those players that can think, but like, they won't be all-stars, so that's the problem.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah, so that was one thing. The other thing was why just forget about All-Star game altogether?
Might have to be.
Just get a break. Just give you a break.
There's still money to be made.
Just give them the break for the week and then start and then restart. To me, the All-Star, what is the purpose of the All-Star break? Because I think that we lost the purpose. The purpose of the All-Star break has been lost.
Yeah, I think that's it.
The purpose of the All-Star game was to see all the stars at one game,
showcasing
the talents. But they are even having issues getting people to watch regular season games. So why would I want to watch All-Star game unless I want to see what Embiid versus Anthony Davis, or you want to see a matchup?
Yeah,
I'm not sure I don't think they can do anything that will make the players to play hard. Because there will be some players, even if you put money, they can't put enough money for those All-Stars because most of those All-Stars are making big money. Only, like, it was funny, 1 or 2 that became an All-Star the other day that in that top tier of their salary range, but the majority people that people really come to see, cause if I'm somebody like Mobley, right? That this is for my first All-Star.
Yeah.
You know, you really feel so everybody breaking down the players to go and see Mobley play? I mean, no. If you see him play with Cavaliers and you're a Cavaliers fan, then fine. But I can't see how. So to me, the idea of the All-Star break has been lost, and I don't think they could revive it. They either go and leave it as offensive, see who can score the most points, but don't play much D, or just forget it altogether. Because if that format was not good, even saying the USA versus the world, that will not have all stars. You will still have to put some people to make up a team. So to me, I think just give them the break for the week and regroup, let them regroup, and then start by the second half of the season. That's what I think of it. But I don't make the big bucks. So those who are making the big bucks will make that big decision. Right. So that's the All-Star. And then shortly after that, we start back this season, and woe betide, we have two serious injured players, two All-Star players being injured. First one was your guy, Wembenyama. He actually has a blood clot in his shoulder, and he will be done for the rest of the season. And then there is Embiid, who really was done for the rest of the season from the beginning. But he's just, he was already done. He was just prolonging the agony, basically. I think I heard they're trying to get you want to get a second opinion and that sort of stuff. I think I don't know. I don't know how he would go with that. But let me start with Embiid first. That is a major, major impact. And I noticed they were quick to say that they're not concerned with his overall health. And when people start to make quick pronouncements, there's always something in the back of my mind saying that may not be the true story. So what do you think? I start with you, Keelan, since that Embiid is your guy.
Yeah, I think the reason why in this particular case they were quick to talk about it is because blood clots are something that can be very serious in terms of career trending. Because remember Chris Bosh, right? I think that's what everybody was saying, but like I think they were also trying to put it out there because a lot of people actually don't remember that Brandon Ingram and Asir Thompson had a similar blood clot in their shoulder, and they are fine now, right? It is kudos to the Spurs medical staff for realizing it early. That's always very important. And he's going to be on blood thinners. So the time frame is 3 to 6 months. So then that will put him around that time. Obviously, it'll be off season. Then he could potentially ramp back up once everything is clear. Obviously, then he could potentially ramp back up for the start of next season. Obviously, Spurs fans would have maybe like to see Wemby and Fox build a little bit of chemistry, even if they don't get any playing, at least building towards next year. But they will have, once everything goes well, the entire off season, and then next season to like work. One thing I was starting to realize, Wemby's stamina. Like Wemby was obviously a dominant a defensive player, but I was starting to like realize some lapses and like he was getting tired really quick. And I thought that he was sick, right? Because I think he actually was a little sick at first, right? So then, but then it was really he was like gas. Like I mean, like they had a possession against the Celtics. Really, he barely did anything. He was like you could see he was exhausted, right? So I was thinking, okay, it was sudden. It was like one game he was good, and then like the next game or two, he was just like all of a sudden it was like that. So obviously his health is the most important thing. If so we just I think that they were just doing that because you have two examples of it obviously going as normal, and there's obviously the ultimate where it could potentially hurt. The one with Chris Bosh that was a little bit worse too was that it was in his leg. So obviously blood clots are bad regardless of where it is. But yeah, that's just some of the info that I had on it and stuff like that. He's actually not like home, not doing anything. Like he's out on a boat. I think there were some pictures of him like kind of out on a boat still recently. So yeah.
Yeah, okay. What about Embiid, Alan?
Yeah,
Perennial,
actually, the follow-up,
well, he's been in hospital so regularly, starting to think he's a doctor.
actually, that's a phone call. Okay, I was saying, yeah. I think one of the reasons they spoke about it too is the nature of it. I think part of the issue, like particularly with Chris Bosh, they couldn't really his condition was chronic, so you had
Yeah.
to get blood thinners like for a medication for a longer period of time.
Yeah.
Whereas with Thompson and with Wemby, it seems they can identify what the source of it was and they
Correct.
understand what caused it. So once this clears, he should be good to go. So I think they can kind of identify those things early on, and that's the reason why they would have said what they said. With Embiid, yeah, I was saying all year from watching him play,
Yeah.
he looked to be playing in pain quite often, and it didn't seem to be any relief. And I mean, it's difficult for any player to really play at their highest level if they're always in pain. I mean, particularly in knee pain, a big guy like him, that's not going to work. So yeah, from same early season, Mario went Indiana played him, and he actually got hurt in that Indiana game. It was another minor injury, not to the knee, it was something else. But I remember just watching him in that game. I mean, Indiana was just running him off, basically running him off the court.
Yeah.
Because when they would trade off in transition, you know it's a 5-on-4, and that was just happening really consistently. So I'm not surprised. It seems that the idea was over a period of time he would get better, and he would have to deal with some pain, but the knee will probably improve and get to a decent level as the year went on. But he's not getting our relief. This information seems to be coming up quite often. So yeah, they're just going to have to look for something else, because I think he believes this knee should be better than what it is like. So that's where he's getting some other opinions now to look and see what should be planned. He had said that he thinks they may do another surgery on it, but yeah, I think they'll prefer not to go on the knife again. But yeah, I guess depends on what happens with they say new images today. I guess depends on what that image shows and determine if he's going to go on the knife again or not. But yeah, I mean, Sixers are never going to go anywhere unless he was right. I mean, he's their best player. So I don't think it should have been this bad, because I don't think that expected Paul George to be as horrible as he was either. So, and then they lost I forgot their young rookie that they got in the second.
Jared McKean.
Yeah, McKinney, he was really good, and he's done for the year as well too. So yeah, just a real tough situation for Philly. So I think it does make sense to shut him down. I think their pick is top 6 protected, and
the OKC, of course.
Yeah, so I mean, it'll be rough to end up like the 8th pick, and then OKC just gets the 8th pick and an extremely strong draft lead, number 1 seed, potentially win the title, and getting a top pick too. I mean, so yeah, hopefully, they can just rest him. His knee is actually better for sometime next year. But yeah, this is watch him all year. You tell that knee was never right.
Yeah, even from at the Olympics, I didn't think he was altogether there either. But
he looked better there though.
Yeah, he
looked
did.
better there. But to me, coming on to the end of the Olympics, he was like dragging really. But I wish him well, because I think Philadelphia needs him to be at least 80% fit, to really contain. I think there's another lost season, and they will have to go back to the drawing board and see how they can regroup. But it also begs the question why they also reiterated with the thinking behind Dallas trading Luka. Although Luka ain't really a hurt person, I think.
Yeah.
You never had these sort of injuries.
Yeah.
The thing I think no one wants to be tied in to injury, because that's basically what it would be. So I would not have done it. I tell you, I don't think I have
Yeah,
the
yes, you
mental
would.
fortitude to do
You're a
that.
Lakers fan. You
Right?
would definitely trade Luca to the
No,
Lakers.
no, no.
I
If,
want to hear that.
if I was in Dallas
Oh yeah.
as a Lakers fan, well,
Yeah.
sure. But I could if it was the other way around, I could see me change trade. I would have to exhaust all avenues before I get to the point of trading Luca.
Yeah, the reason why it kind of doesn't make any sense of that thinking is because you could technically think about that for any superstar. Like imagine if the Spurs they said it, my God, trade me know because of this injury, or Giannis, who's been actually more injury prone than people have really been talking about. The last two playoffs series he's missed. Imagine if the Bucks was like, Giannis kind of injury prone, let's trade him. Like you, although the best players in the world probably be saying you okay. So like you could probably make that case for anyone. So that's why that logic
Yeah,
You must
go ahead,
you
Alan.
must you must know how bad his habits are. If they really figure, you know what, his habits and
Yeah.
his discipline is so poor,
I
this will
Yes,
he
that's the
will
only
break
reason,
down.
Alan. I
Oh
agree
yeah.
100%. That's the only reason
That's
that I
what I
can
said. They
see
say
him
his
taking that.
discipline, his habits are so terrible. This is not going to last. He can't survive like this.
And then you give him a contract, $340 something million,
Yeah.
right? And then
Allegedly, I don't know how true, but allegedly
They said they weren't gonna get me. Yeah, I saw that. Yeah,
they weren't going to offer him that full supermax. They were going to
that would
offer him something less.
that would be interesting. Imagine if he stayed and then they didn't offer that. That would be interesting.
yeah.
Yeah. So
Anyway, that
I think
is
that there's one way before you get ahead of it. So, well, we're not going to give you full supermax, so you're going to demand a trade
mm.
if we don't give you that full supermax. So
So
here it is.
trade it from the beginning.
Yep. Get ahead of it.
Okay. Well, there's a lot of conjecture. I mean, like all of us just doing the same thing, you know. Just we can't think, we find it hard to fathom what Nico was thinking. What
It's
Nico was
true.
thinking. Unless he's a friend of Lakers. I mean, like
I mean, he is friends with Rob, but let me not get into that.
Yeah, they are friends.
yeah, I
Let me
mean,
not
like,
get into
shoot. He got me with blood brother or something.
that.
So the final thing about the NBA segment is, you know, that game with Lakers and Denver is Denver.
Yeah.
It was Denver or Donver or Gonver. I can't remember which before it was.
All of a
But
sudden,
somebody get relics.
all of a sudden, all of a sudden.
Yeah, I'll be honest with you as a Laker, but I still don't feel they got enough to contain. I think they're short. And I think they were short with AD, and I think they're a little shorter with Luka, because you got LeBron, him, and Austin Reeves. Those are three traffic cops, right? I mean, like, just come through here, you know what I mean? Like, they come through here, point, you know, and point which direction they're going in. Like, they got a detour, you know, a policeman standing there, point, and tell you where to go, right? So they're like three really traffic cops. So I think that was interesting, but a big game against Denver. So I will start with you, Alan. What did you see? Did you see Lakers being a contender now?
I don't know. Lakers are a very interesting team because, as you were saying, they don't really have great defenders right now. LeBron has the capacity to defend much better than he has been. But so I think he's probably going to turn up because he did defend at a pretty high level last game. I think he will most likely turn on as we get closer to playoffs. But yes, he has been a trapper clock for most of the year, has been very low energy, very low effort on defense for most of the year so far. But I think the last 18 games, Lakers have the number one defensive rating. Like half of that is with AD and without AD. The last 10 games, they're top 10 in defensive rating. So that is, again, all those games without Anthony Davis. So, and they did an excellent job against Jokic. They are finding ways to defend at a high level. I think Dorian Finney-Smith and Vandal have really helped a lot in that regard. Rui as well has been defending extremely well. I think I saw something the other day where I think he has the lowest field goal percentage allowed as a defender, I think maybe last 10 or so games. So the guys are defending at a very high level. I think what's helping them is the amount of length. I think they are, it is too early to say this, but I think they're trying to approximate that Golden State depth lineup. Because when you have, if you have a Luka, Austin Reeves, LeBron Rui, and then Jackson Hayes or Dorian Finney-Smith, you have a ton of length all over the court, and all those days are basically switchable. So I think you saw the best case of that against the Nuggets. I am not sure if they're going to be able to maintain that, but they have been very good defensively over the last 20 games and over these last 10. So I think the next, I mean, you just have to look for them over the next 10 or 15 so games and see if this maintains. But if this maintains with the offensive firepower they have, I didn't think they were a contender at first, but they could potentially, convince me that they might be. But they have to continue. I think the defense is their biggest end, and they have to continue to show this high level of defensive efficiency going forward. But yeah, I did not expect. I figured the defense would have gone in the tank. I mean, you lose Anthony Davis, best defender. I mean, he was playing at MVP level, all defensive player, trying to be a defensive player of your Canada as well. You lose a guy and that your defense gets better. I mean, it's very odd. So, but they are defending extremely well. What they did against Jokic, with the double teams and triple teaming, essentially forcing everyone else besides Jokic should beat them, denying him with the passes. And when he did get the ball, it put so much pressure on him that it forced him to sit turnovers. They had difficulty even getting the ball into Jokic. Yeah, it was an excellent game plan they had. In the playoff series, though, Denver will adjust right in next game. So I don't think that's something they could continue to do consistently. So that was like these next 10, 15 games will be very interesting to see if they maintain this high level of defense. But particularly with Dorian Finney-Smith and Vandal on the team, the length that those guys give them and the intensity those guys have on defense, and if LeBron gives more effort going forward, then we may have some in there.
Okay, what about you, Keelan? I know you're not a Laker lover,
No. Is not. I don't like the Lakers because like I don't like some of the fans. There are people that played for the like I'm a huge Kobe guy. I don't have any problems with LeBron either. Luka, his style of play, the complaining or whatever, but like just him. If he doesn't complain, I like watching Luka play in terms of like how good he is, right? But so I don't have anything really against the Lakers. It's some of the fans that, all right, anyways. But yeah, I agree a lot with what Alan said. I can't say they are a contender yet. Maybe because in the West, is OKC and then the rest. But as Alan pointed out, I'm sure that in a 7-game series, I'm sure that the Nuggets would adjust for a game 2, right? I thought they were caught completely off guard. Kudos to the Lakers. JJ Redick has actually done a very good job of adjusting their defensive scheme since Anthony Davis has gone. I think that is actually you really gotta give your hat off to him because in losing Anthony Davis, he has pivoted and has made some changes, and the defense looks better. All right. So JJ Redick has done a good job in that regard. Is it sustainable? That is something that we have to see because, as I say, like teams get hot and cold throughout the season, but like there are certain trends that stick with you throughout the year. Like for example, the way how certain teams play, like who it was like Golden State. For all the Golden State is always a lot like cutting. They get a lot of their points from cutting. Grizzlies is used a lot. The Jazz is used a lot off ball. Grizzlies only run a lot of pick and roll. Like, but those things are consistent throughout the year. We have to see now if the defense can be consistent, and that is the only way that I would know for sure if is this a first round team? Is this a second round team? Or is this a third round team? Is this a OKC, maybe Lakers? Possibly. It's possible. Because if you have Braun and Luka in a playoff series, they are some of the smartest basketball players ever. So it can work in your favor, but we have to see. I know I'll not always be the most optimistic, but with how wide the West is, it is possible. It actually is.
I'm be honest with you, I don't really feel I'm a Laker, but I don't really feel they got enough to beat the top teams, to be honest with you. I think that one game against Denver is fine. And as you said, in a 7-game series, they can make adjustment. So there's certain things that I look for when I thinking somebody's a contender. One is consistency, and the other is you could win a one game with a gimmick. Right? You can't win a whole series of gimmicks. That don't ever work. Right? So I will wait and see what I'm looking at in the next 20, 25 games is how their defense look, and then how the defense look when Luka in, and how the offense look when Braun going to take a seat. Because a 7-game series is played in like 10 days. So, and he's not 10. So he got to recover to play at a high level the next night or the next 2 nights. So my thing is if they could marshal them sort of things, then I would say, yeah, they could thing. But right now, I think the only thing that I go against OKC is the young. And that's the only thing I go against them. Everything else, they take all the boxes. So we'll see how that works. So Denver is an enigma. When Denver won the championship, I mean, they were like sneak and won it, right? I mean, like they're sneaking behind everybody and won it. So I think a one game, I glad for the win, is a statement win. It makes you got some things to, use for motivation. But I still feel there are like a couple of pieces away of being good. And the defensive people gotta be good shooters as well. It can't just be good defensive people. Because if they don't score the ball consistently, then out there playing D and then you can't score, people can leave you open. So that is it for me and the Lakers. So I'm hoping for the best. It is what it is. Right, so that is our little piece there on the NBA. But of course, we cannot leave unless we have the pick 5. As you know, last episode, Alan was on assignment, and I understood why he only got 1 out of 5. So just say, and Keelan was very good. He was 4 out of 5, and it was 3 out of 5. So this week we start on the 25th. It's tomorrow. We go Cavaliers at Orlando. Cavaliers at Orlando.
Go with Cavs.
Are you going with the Cavs? What about you, Alan?
I don't think Alan here.
I'm not here, Alan. I can see your mouth saying Cavaliers.
Yeah, Cavs.
Right. Yeah. On Wednesday is Portland at Washington.
Like you said the names and they didn't register, and then it was like
Portland at Washington.
I'll go Blazers.
I've Washington some love.
Well, you'll be the only person. Again, Blazers.
Yeah,
Okay,
Blazers here too.
you going Blazers too? Okay. On Thursday, we have Denver at Milwaukee.
Hmm. Let me go with Jamal Murray.
Okay, so you're going with Jamal. What are you, Alan?
Yeah, I'm hoping Milwaukee lose just for seeding purposes. So yeah,
Oh yeah,
I'm
I forgot with that.
Yeah, well, I don't really care about season East, so I'll go Milwaukee. On Friday, Indiana at Miami. Indiana at
Again,
Miami.
I can go with
I had you pencil already.
I can
oh,
go with
that,
Allen on this one. I can go with Allen
You go with
on
Allen too?
yeah,
I go with Miami.
as usual. Yeah, we know.
And then the final game in the pick five is Sacramento at Houston. I think I go Houston.
Talking about Houston.
Yes.
yeah, I like Houston too.
Yeah, I go with Houston.
Okay,
Yeah.
so everybody going with Houston. Either we are going to have a really good week
Oh,
or
really,
very good
really
bad week,
buggy.
and then they may have to go back on assignment. No, Alan, let's start with you. Who do you call game on?
Uh, call a game on podcasters, man. Podcasters are here doing great things. Podcasters are here, shutting down MVP candidates and doing masterful game plans. So yeah, I call a game on podcasters out here, doing great things.
What about you, Keelan? That was funny.
Well, I can piggyback on Allen and shout out not in a positive way. Podcasters as well, not for the same thing that Allen is saying, because Allen is saying JJ Reddit, a thing, but apparently we got NBA player as being better as a podcaster and a thing, and Mr. Paul George, aka Tobias Harris 2.0. Because I don't know for y'all, but like if you look at his numbers compared to Tobias Harris last year, pretty much the same. Pretty much this, or at least they were hoping that they got Paul George to be a little better, but
A
just a
little
teeny bit.
better.
Sorry, a lot better. And you paid him a max got 207 million. Yeah. So we got podcasters and we got part time a podcaster. So that's what we call game one.
Okay, I call a game on Philadelphia because I think Philadelphia has shown that they want to open a health clinic because they keep they keep pulling people who spend a lot of time in those clinics. So I obviously they want to invest in a health clinic. So I call on Philadelphia. I think I'm just I'm sorry that Embiid is the way he is, but they know Paul George had a history. And you
Yeah,
give a man a max contract that, had 7 surgeries.
yeah.
So I'm sorry. I got a call game on Philadelphia. And that's it for court in session. And for right now, the court